Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. That's Lower Alabama. We're talking to you from our studios on South Grundy Street in Troy, Alabama. We're coming to you live across 12 county area that Troy Cable runs from north of Lake Martin all the way to south of Dothan and the Geneva County area. We hope you're having a great day as we start another week. And hey, this is a great 4th of July celebration. The Troy Rec Department did a wonderful job with their fireworks. I tell you, you would not have seen any better fireworks anywhere than right here in Troy, Alabama. And it was just a big spectacle. And my plaudits go out to Dan Smith and his staff for making it happen every year. It costs money for the city, and we want to thank the mayor for allocating the money that we can have thousands of people. And I'm telling you, there were thousands of people where I was to watch the fireworks on the 4th of July. And of course, I know everybody was excited on that Thursday, and really was the finale of a great day in Troy, Alabama for the 4th of July. And again, thousands of people were there to see the fireworks. Hope you're having a great day today as we enter the second week in July. And of course, we've got baseball tournaments going on right now. The 8 and under tournament is still going on out at the Sportsplex, and we'll hopefully talk about that a little bit later. And then the Ozone, the Dixie boys, 11 and 12-year-old boys, start their state tournament, and that's coming up this weekend, and I believe it starts on Friday, and we've got a lot to talk to you about that as the 14-team brackets have been announced. And of course that game's going to be in Troy, Alabama, and Troy will play in the state tournament. And here it is right here. That's the Ozone State Tournament. Troy will play Montgomery South East Blue. The Montgomery Southeast Blue comes to town to play the Troy team on Friday, July the 12th at 7 o'clock. So that'll be the headliner of 3 games going on at the Sportsplex. Other teams in that tournament this weekend, Morgan County High School National will play Eufaula in game 1 at 3 o'clock. The Southeast Blue will be playing, as we mentioned, against Montgomery Blue, or the Montgomery Blue, which is the Southeast Blue, will be playing Troy at 7 o'clock. Your Dothan Americans will play the Auburn Orange team champions. So that game will be at 3 p.m. on the July the 12th. Other games, Selma District 4 will play Holtville District 4, and I reckon that's Lake Jordan area. That will be at 3 o'clock on game 4 on July the 12th. So, boy, that day is going to be full of action. Another tournament game, Taylor Rehoboth will play North Bibb County, so that's another big game. Also on field 4, starting at 5 o'clock on Friday. Mobile, boy, this is a real tough state tournament, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. Mobile Municipal Southern champion plays Enterprise American champion. They play at 5 o'clock on field number 6, and that game will also be on Friday. Boy, there's a lot of games on Friday here, and a lot of fields too, though, thank goodness. And now the Decatur American team plays at 5 o'clock on field number 3. Will play against Hueytown. And Alexandria, that's your Anniston area, will play the Auburn Blue team at 7 o'clock on Friday night. So, boy, a bunch of teams coming in here. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a lot of spectacles here, a lot of tournaments over the years, but this is as good a boys tournament as you're going to find anywhere as far as your what we call the old Little League. And this is your 11 and 12-year-old kids, your top of the level age group for Little League ball or Dixie Youth League ball. And Troy is hosting that this week. So how about this? Folks from Decatur, Morgan County, folks from Eufaula, folks from Montgomery, folks from Dothan, folks from Auburn, a group of folks from Selma, Holtville, Taylor, Rehoboth, that is the Dothan area, also from North Bibb County, Mobile, Enterprise, another team from Decatur, Hueytown, that's your Birmingham area, Alexandria, that's your Anniston area, and the Auburn Blue team out of Auburn, Alabama. So there are two teams from Auburn here, but just think of the people that are going to be in Troy that weekend. And, boy, it is going to be something, I'm telling you. Starting on, I want to say on Friday, and all these games will be going on starting at 3 o'clock. And then there'll be 3 games at 3 and 3 games at 5. So, and then they'll play 2 games at 7. So, man, there's a lot of baseball going on. And Troy plays at 7 o'clock on Friday, so that'll be a great opportunity for to get out there and watch those Trojans. But, man, oh, man, these hotels are going to be packed. And I don't know if they'll use any of the dorms over at Troy. They might to try to be able to house all these kids. That's why I was trying to get Dan Smith this morning and to find out what the logistics of all of this is. This is huge. You're talking about a big meeting in your community. You won't beat this. Let's just say this. I love to do this. There's at least 15 players on each team. There are 15 players on each team, and they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 teams. 16 teams at 15, 15 at 16. All right, here we go. Hopefully that's it. Good morning. How you doing?
Hi, morning.
Mike Amos calling in from the beach this weekend. How's it doing down there? How's the beach? Hello. Mike Amos called in. It looks like we might have lost him here. Hopefully he'll call back. But how about this? There is 340 players, and that now include those mamas and daddies. That will be 680. 680. How about the grandmamas and granddaddies? Let's say they all went, and that's another 340. Oh, wait a minute. No, that wouldn't be right, would it? Well, let's say, 660, and 2 for 660. We're talking about parents and grandparents. So that's 1,300 right there. If you included the players, we didn't include the coaches or anything like that. Let's say there's 4 coaches, and their wives went, so that's 8 more, and let's multiply 8 times 8 times 16. There's another. I reckon I know my math here. Another 124 of them. If you considered 8 more, that would be the husbands and the wives and the coaches of the coaches. And now that is 1,500 just right there. And then let's say that you brothers and sisters, we forgot that. Let's say they had 3 each. 3 brothers and sisters each. So to add to all of that, so 3 more each. And man, oh man, you got a crowd of folks. You got over well over 2,000 just that alone, just if you thought about their kinfolks, and a lot more than that, and people from the town and the community going to support them, and all of that. But we can figure between, I'm gonna say 5,000 will be a good note. I say 5,000 people will be in Troy this weekend for this tournament. That is amazing, isn't it? But that's where you can figure it right there, is the players, and then the coaches and their wives, and then the mamas and the daddies and the brothers and the sisters. So I hadn't mentioned cousins or aunts or uncles or anybody like that, but I'll just estimate there'll be 5,000 people here for this Little League convention, if you want to call it. That's what it is. This is the state tournament, Ozone Boys 2019 Alabama-Dixie Youth Baseball Ozone State Tournament. And if you need to know about Ozone, let me explain it a little bit to you. You've got a baseball field out there, and I don't know the exact regulations. I want to say, 50 feet. You've got a softball field out there, or the Dixie Youth League field, and you move it back a few more feet. I want to say it's 54 or 58 feet, something like that, is your base pads. Okay. Now, that's one of the differences of this, is that they play on a little bit larger field, about 4 or 5 feet larger as far as the base pads go. And I want to say 58, but I could be wrong. And now when they come up to the plate, the same amount of players and so forth, just a little bit bigger field. And when they come to the plate, the pitcher is pitching from the mound, and when the guy that gets on first base, instead of having to wait until the pitcher pitches the ball and run, and the way the old Little League rules worked, you can play off just like a major leaguer, just like a high schooler or a college guy. He can play off the base and get a running start for second base. Well, the pitcher now can pitch from the stretch and hold that runner on, just like the major leagues, just like real baseball. That's what this Ozone has done. It's extended the Little League field. It's made the home run distance, I think, 210, I want to say. And now the players will, once they get on base, be able to move off the base and steal the base if they get a big spread from first or second base. But this pitcher now can pitch from the stretch and can hold that runner on. So those are some of the main differences in Ozone baseball. Good morning, you're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Oh, sorry, I'm some spotty cell phone issues trying to call in.
Okay, Mike Amos calling in from the beach. Was it a nice weekend?
Yeah, it was nice. Tons of people left on Saturday. Usually everybody down here books, a week, from Saturday to Saturday. So yesterday, it wasn't as crowded as it has been. But, there's still a lot of people down here everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I would call it, last big vacation week until school starts, it seems like. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I guess school starts August the 10th. Or August the 9th, some places.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, I would imagine the next few weeks will probably be the last big vacations for most.
Yeah. Well, let's start off with Alabama assistant coach Josh Chapman blew it, Mike. He got caught on a DUI.
That's actually the second time that's happened.
Well, I think he's through. I would think this would cost him his job. Former nose guard at Alabama from 2007 to 2011, who was an integral part of Crimson Tide's defensive line during the 2009 and 2011 national championships, was held in jail Saturday on a $1,000 bond. Chapman, 30, has served as a valued assistant strength and conditioning coach. Valued, Mike. That word, valued, coach with the Alabama football team since 2016. Chapman spent 4 years, 2012 to 2015 in the NFL, after being drafted by the Indianapolis Colts in the 5th round. Man, how stupid can you be? Man, here he is, has got a great opportunity not only to coach at Alabama and make probably at least 6 figures, wouldn't you say?
I mean, probably. You know, he played in the NFL for 4 years, too.
And to go out and show himself like that in Tuscaloosa, and they got him down as a repeater. You know, 2.5 years ago, he was arrested on the same charges. So, Josh, you blew it, my friend, because you felt like you had to go out and partake, and with your job on the line, one of the best jobs in college football. He wasn't the head strength coach, but he was making a good salary as an assistant strength coach on one of the great programs of all time, and would have a chance, I'm sure, to get a big-time job one day. Wouldn't you think?
Well, I mean, the biggest issue is, you know, this has happened before. So, I mean, you seem like you'd have somebody like Uber to come pick you up, or, you know, taxis. I mean, they have tons of Uber drivers and taxi drivers, shuttle drivers in Tuscaloosa. I mean, I worked in that area many a late night back in the day, so I know all that's available. So, you know, I hate to see it, but I would imagine it'll be pretty tough to keep him on staff after this happened twice now.
And you're right, and we're going to see, you know, what happens here. And I'm for him now. Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. But he's just, I mean, that's just, you don't do that and have a job like he has, you know. But if you wanted to sit in a police car outside of the, what's the big country club out there on the water? North River. If you wanted to sit in your police car outside North River Yacht Club on a Saturday afternoon after a bunch of guys have played golf, or a Sunday afternoon after a bunch of guys have played golf, or on the 4th of July after watching, being out of the club and watching the folks, the fireworks, and when they leave there, there's half of them going to probably have too much alcohol in the bloodstream. Don't you think?
Yeah.
They could have sat there and arrested everybody, about half the people that came out of there, because they've been out there playing golf in the hot sun all day long, and they refreshed themselves afterwards, or they watched the fireworks or whatever. But you can be sitting in a position. I'll tell you where you could sit in Troy if you want me to. And and half of the people that drove out of there, their blood count level would probably be more than it's supposed to be, and they could give them a DUI. What do you think?
Yeah, well, then that could happen anywhere. It could happen to.
So I mean,
numerous people.
Evidently, this guy was some reason was either driving funny or was speeding or whatever. I'm sure something else was to it, because. You know, this guy's a well-known figure. I mean, this is a big-time looking guy that's getting out of your car or whatever.
Just going to mention local product, Samantha Yarbrough, two-time Coastal Alabama Softball Player of the Year, has left South Alabama's program and signed with Auburn.
That's Chad Yarbrough's daughter.
Yeah, confirmed the news to AL.com. Her only season with the Jaguars, Yarbrough went 6-9, 29 appearances with a 4.71 ERA.
Boy.
She made 14 starts and pitched 93.2 innings. So she didn't have the year I think that she thought she was going to have at South Alabama, but she's a tremendous talent.
Yeah.
And now we'll go to a really good program in the SEC. And, you know, we had mentioned this the whole time. You know, that was an amazing pickup for South Alabama.
Well she'll have to sit out, though, won't she?
In the SEC before.
Yeah, won't she have to sit out?
I would think she would have to sit out a year.
Her daddy, who was a banker here and went to Troy and played football at Troy, and I've known her for years, always told me that she was going to go to South Alabama to play 4 years before she even graduated from high school. You know, she graduated from high school, or she went to school here and played on rec ball and played some travel ball, and then they moved to a Mobile area, Daphne area, or Fairhope, whatever, somewhere in that area. and she played high school ball down there and was had a big reputation as an outstanding pitcher. And you're right. Now, will she have to sit out?
I mean, I would think she would have to sit out. I don't see any hardship issues.
I would think so too. Now that's where he's from.
I can think is maybe South Alabama's coach was fired and let go, and maybe some of the players are able to transfer out because of that. I don't know.
Her dad is from Dadeville, so they'd be right back home, and I wouldn't doubt if he didn't end up being over that way too. Of course, this young lady is quite a player, no question about it.
So Yarbrough says she's expected to pitch and possibly play some infield. I'm not really sure about that. She said, I hope to go in and contribute quickly. I expect nothing less of myself. I'll go in, work hard, see what happens. Just wearing that Auburn jersey will be huge for me. I'll do whatever I can to help the team. I'm super excited.
Yeah. Well, it did surprise me that her first year she didn't dominate, and the kid from Brantley did dominate. Who would you thought would have been coming out of high school? Who would you have thought would have been the top dog, Mike? The kid from Prattville?
Well, she was the 7A Player of the Year, so yeah, I mean, you would expect her.
Yeah, she was the 7A Player of the Year at what school? Fairhope?
Fairhope.
Fairhope. We're talking about the Arbor kid, and very good talent. And then the kid that came out of Brantley, Mike, look what she did. And don't tell me.
Girl.
Yeah, and don't tell me about competition because they all play good competition. Don't you agree?
Yeah, Yarbrough can play in the field there. I mean, her senior year, she batted .431 with 10 home runs and 43 RBIs.
Yeah, so. I know it. I would play her too.
Yeah, it looks like
she's an outstanding player. I just was surprised that she didn't do better her first year, but that's a pretty tough league, that Sun Belt with the Troy's in. Troy, of course, signed the kid out of high school. I'm sorry, I can't remember.
They signed the player of the year out of.
Yeah, what is her name? I'm sorry that I can't give her name, but she's an outstanding pitcher for Troy. And then Troy comes back and gets the pitcher of the year again, Mike, the kid from D.W. Long, and she is a phenomenal pitcher. They already had two more pitchers. I'm gonna tell you right now, Mike. Believe you me. Troy is going to go long ways next year in softball. They're going to have two of the top pitchers in the country. And a kid from Brantley, yes, and a kid from Long High School of Skipperville. Can you believe that? They're both 1A schools, aren't they? Long 1A, I think they are.
Long's 2A.
Give me some statistics on this young lady.
We already talked about this before. Troy's got the state player of the year 3 straight years at Troy.
The what? Wait a minute. Let's repeat that.
We already mentioned that. The player of the year 3 straight years has gone to Troy in softball.
Can you believe that? You talk about recruiting now. You reckon that's that young girl?
You got to win it. You got to win it in the postseason, though. They played 2 games in the Sun Belt tournament and got beat. We're out. Within 1 day. So
I realize that.
Doesn't matter until how you play. In postseason.
But right here on
a great year win record.
But right here on Elm Street, you're telling me that Troy University has 3 players that was the top player in the state of Alabama by any classification when they graduated.
That's according to TroyTrojans.com. I read an article about.
All right, last year, I want to say her name is Johnson. What's her name, Mike, from Brantley, the young pitcher?
Johnson.
All right, Johnson. All right, Johnson, how did she do this year? Do you have a stat on her?
I mean, we talked about it after the season was over, what her numbers were. I'll have to go back and look.
Are you sitting there with the computer looking at you?
Yeah, the only problem is I don't have internet right now.
Now, when we start showing the show on the beach, where are you going to go?
I mean, I'll have internet in my house.
And we're going to sit out there and we're going to grab one of those bicycle guys that he rides by.
I tell you what, we saw some amazing fireworks down here.
Mike, all right. I'd like to hear about it because, we watched fireworks down there for years, but you were right on top of it there at Grayton Beach.
Well, they had the barge come out at Seaside where they shoot out in the water. which is really fun to watch out in Seaside. And then Gus Place down the road had a huge fireworks show.
Now did you just drive your pickup truck out on the beach? Is that right?
No, we actually left it. We said there was going to be too many people down there, so we just put the kids down, and my wife and I walked down there and just sat on the beach on the boardwalk down there.
Well, you mean the kids didn't go to the fireworks?
No, it was too late. You know, the kids go down before 8. So.
You know, well, I'll tell you this. Everybody says the fireworks here would not start until pitch black dark. Well, I'll tell you right now, they waited to pitch black dark because it was after 9 o'clock before they started running them. But as always, my good friend Dan Smith put together another spectacle, Mike. It had to be the best fireworks that's ever been to Troy. I mean, it was fabulous. And you know where they do it, Mike? Where they do it from now?
They do it in the stadium?
No, they did it. They did them behind Charles Simpson High School. The band field there. And Mike, it's the best location you'll find anywhere because there's so much openness around it that you almost think it's on flat ground. But it went high, and I talked to a buddy of mine yesterday at Sun School, and he said that he saw it from Orion Street. Can you believe that?
No, it is hard to believe. The Troy signee in softball is Libby Baker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want you to hear this.
The one out of G.W. Long.
All right, now, this young lady, Yarborough, has decided that she would transfer to Auburn, and she was 6-9 last year. Tell us about the young Johnson girl, her record, and then the kid from Long, and give us her record.
Well, I mean, the girl from Long is the one you need to talk about. She hit .559 and broke the state record for home runs.
All right, she hit 500, and what's her name again?
She hit .560.
All right, okay. Excuse me, I was off by one. Listen, I was off by one mark.
She hit 560 with 37 home runs and 101 RBI.
Oh gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, a phenom. We're talking about a phenom. How did Troy get him? And what's the best softball program in the country? Alabama or where?
Alabama is one of them, yeah.
And how in the world does Troy get this girl? Not only is she going to pitch every inning, probably, or she and the Johnson girl will go pitch every inning. This girl, you go put her up to the plate. 560 with her batting average last year at Long High School.
Listen to these numbers. Her ERA was 0.27.
0.27.
She was 20-1.
20-1.
271 batters. Through 16 shutouts, 5 no-hitters, and 4 perfect games.
Oh, gosh. Whoa, and where's she going to college?
She's going to Troy.
Going to Troy. Man, oh, man. Hey, you think this is Mark's daughter that's doing all the recruiting? Or who's doing the recruiting? Somebody doing a great job.
Coach Mullins, I guess. Johnson won 25 games for Troy this year.
Well, who did? Johnson won 25. And, ladies and gentlemen,
her ERA was 2.19.
Her ERA, and she played against some very good competition. She won 25 games?
Yeah.
All right, so we're talking about the young lady.
Sunbelt Freshman of the Year.
All right, she was the Sunbelt Freshman of the Year. She comes out of Titletown. I mean, I just hey, you put Titletown in there. Brantley, she goes 25 and what? Did she lose any?
Yeah, I think she was 25-7.
25-7 in her first year of Division 1A softball. And what you said? How many she struck out? She had a 2.19, which is a phenomenal ERA. And what'd you say?
I mean, she struck out over 200.
Struck out over 200, and then they bring this other young lady in as a pure freshman from Long High School at Skipperville. And this young lady's record was what again? 20-1. 20-1. I don't know who beat her. Brantley might have beat her.
Some big school probably beat them.
Yeah, but she was 20-1. And listen to this again. This is phenomenal. Her ERA, this is runs batted or runs allowed, was .27. her ERA was almost like they might have been 1 run scored on her all year. Is that right?
Yeah, you had to think she got beat 1-0.
1 run is the only one she's kept up. She's a phenomenal offensive player. She batted .560, hit 37 home runs, which got to be a state record, isn't it?
It is a state record.
And knocked in 101. That would have to be a state record, wouldn't it?
I know the home runs are. I don't know about the RBI.
I'm going to do my best to bring those 2 girls on this show. Man, I want them on this show. That is phenomenal. And we're talking about the Johnson kid. What's her first name from Brantley? I shouldn't ever forget it.
Leanna Johnson.
Leanna Johnson. And see, Troy already had some pretty good pitchers, Mike. They already had 2 or 3 good pitchers. So
see, I want to say this Andy Willis was State Player of the Year, too.
Andy, what's her name?
Andy Willis, I want to say was maybe the State Player of the Year, too. I'll have to look into.
Yeah, check me if somebody would call in. Annie Willis?
Yeah, I want to say they had 3 in a row. I'll have to go back and look.
Well, they're doing a great job of recruiting, and they're building a program. Troy had a very good team this year, didn't he?
Yeah, they went 37-20.
37-20 this year, and of course, they play a pretty tough schedule too, no question about it.
The end of baseball season for the before the All-Star break. So the Braves are in first place, won yesterday 4-3. So looks like they'll have a great chance to clinch the National League East like they did last year. They've got the most home runs they've had ever as a franchise going into the All-Star break, 147.
Oh, boy. That is phenomenal. Man, a lot of people don't have 147 for the year.
Well, I mean, they got, Freeman's got 23. Acuna's got 21.
All right, I believe what's the deal. They have made them another old, what was the old ballpark the Braves used to play at? They hit so many home runs where Hank Aaron just took a little short swing and it would go out.
Yeah, they called it the launching pad.
What was the name of that stadium in Atlanta?
Fulton
County Stadium. I think what they built another Fulton County Stadium just north of Atlanta, wouldn't you say?
Well, they have a short porch and ride, so yeah, I think that definitely helps.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of left-handed hitters, you reckon? Hey, back when Maris hit the 60.
I think hit it off the field too.
When Maris hit the 61 home runs, most of the time he just got up in the air and he would pull it down the right field line. You know what the right field line at Yankee Stadium was when Roger Maris played? 297 down the right field line. Did you know that charts coming out?
Center field's like 450, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, long time it was that way. Everybody used to talk about Mickey Mantle and how many home runs he hit. Well, he hit 535 or something like that, home runs. But just think how many balls he hit, Mike, that were in deep center field and that were caught or either dropped before because it was 440 in center field. Yankee Stadium. So no telling how many home runs he would hit. People don't look at that. People don't look at Ted Williams. He missed 5 years of playing with the Red Sox because he flew planes in the war, in World War I. World War II, And what a great man Ted Williams was. Somebody needs to do a story. He needs more fanfare. Don't you agree? You don't know much about Ted Williams, do you?
Well, man, I know he's the last guy to hit 400.
That's right. He was the last guy to hit 400. A lot of people say he was the greatest hitter that ever lived. That he would just say, they call him the splendid splinter, whatever you want to call that, but that's why they called him. And of course, he played right field for left field for the Boston Red Sox. Jackie Jensen played right field, my pardon. And Jim Pearsall played center field. And let's see, I'm hard to find out anybody. Pudd'nhead Jones played somewhere. No, he played with Philadelphia. Trying to think of some more Boston Red Sox other than those guys. But Russ Nixon played second base, I think, and it's hard to figure a lot of those guys that played with Red Sox back then. I don't remember a lot of them.
Yeah, the kid from Faith Academy that played at Auburn, Josh Donaldson's got 18 home runs for the Braves, so he's having a good year too.
Do you know I had a long talk recently with his former head coach, and what did you say about him?
He's got 18 home runs at the All-Star break.
Already, he's not playing the major leagues, but he's just playing in pro ball, isn't he?
Josh Donaldson plays for the Braves.
Yeah. Excuse me, yeah. Mike, the kid from the private school over in Selma, Morgan Academy. I talked to his coach the other day. He signed for $1.2 million. That wasn't bad out of high school, was it?
No, I mean that's definitely something you could probably work with.
Yeah, and of course he plays shortstop, and he'll, he said he's already playing in a league down in Florida, South Florida. But he's a real nice guy. He's gonna be calling our show for too long. And
it's kind of amazing that Pine Level Arts beat them. Considering they hadn't lost a game all season, and they had that much talent. That's really amazing that Pine Level beat them 2 in a row.
And I'll tell you something about it. Not only did they beat them, they beat them, but when they played the first game at Riverwalk, they scored 13 runs in the first 3 innings and beat Pike 13-1 or 13-0. It was a 12-run rule, so it was 13-0, I want to say. And so Pike loses that game, and that meant that Morgan had won their 31st game in a row. And of course, we were getting ready for the second game, and old Coach Ponder had his team down the right field line. And I don't know what he said, but he said whatever he said was good. Then Pike battles back and wins that second game, and then battles back and wins the third game. What a great championship that was. This Alan Ponder, Mike, do you know him? Do you know him well? I know you've been around him a little bit, haven't you?
I've met him a few times. I mean, I got a lot of family, not family, but close friends that are close to him, so I know a lot about him.
Well, I tell you what, one thing, he's a grown man. I mean, he is a horse. I'm telling you, excuse my language, ladies and gentlemen.
He married a Crow Hill girl.
He's big and strong, and of course they just had a child, and congratulations.
I mean, a lot of people tell me he was the best private school athlete that they ever played against in any sport.
Yeah.
How good he was in baseball, football, and basketball.
And at least Scott Academy, and you're right, you just look at him and tell.
He was dominant in everything he played.
Yeah. And for him to go into the AUM, Auburn Montgomery Hall of Fame at that young age is telling you a lot right there, because a lot of good players have played for AUM. You know that.
Well, I mean, he got a full scholarship to Alabama when Alabama was actually good in baseball.
Yeah.
Of course, Alabama's not good in baseball anymore, but back then they were pretty good.
I don't know why he left, but he did transfer from Alabama, and then of course he did play some pro ball after that was over too. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to ask him. It might have been when Wells retired and Gaspar got the job. Maybe then he transferred to AUM.
Exactly right. Mike, sit back and relax. I'll be right back. War Eagle. The Auburn Tigers, yes, it's just around the corner. We have passed the 4th of July. We are now looking at football everywhere. Getting ready. The Auburn Tigers, Mike, they're going to wallop Oregon. They're going to wallop Oregon. The Auburn Tigers will wallop Oregon, Mike. Big prediction right here, and the quarterback will be the young.
Phil Steele magazine's out. Do you got that yet?
No, I can't find it. I looked yesterday for it. I cannot find Phil Steele's magazine, so I have to rely on my other guy's magazine, and it's pretty good.
Well, you want to go over Auburn's record and see what we think they're going to do?
Yeah, let's see what Auburn's going to do. Bless their hearts. Why do you give them such a hard time? Why don't you want to believe in them?
Well, I mean, it's just, start with a freshman or a redshirt freshman quarterback.
If they have to start a redshirt freshman, they're in trouble.
Or a pure freshman.
Well, I look at it. I mean, he's a good player, I'm sure, but is he ready to play in the SEC? That's what I want to know. And of course, let's look at them right here real quick.
Start against Oregon on August the 31st, Saturday night, prime time.
Yeah, and Oregon reputedly has the best quarterback in the nation. What everybody says now. What's the deal there?
I mean, Justin Herbert. A lot of people think he is the best. I'm going to say Oregon beats Auburn to open the season.
I don't believe so, Mike. We're talking about the Auburn Tigers. I don't know how you can talk about Auburn like that.
You got to realize this guy's a first-round pick at quarterback for Oregon, though.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now they won't be playing in the hot sun.
A lot of people said he'd be a first-round pick this year.
Well, you know, the key to it all is he won't be playing in the hot sun like he could if he played at Auburn. Don't you agree?
That's the reason I think Oregon's got a better chance to win this game, because they're playing in the Dome, they're playing in Dallas. I mean, I think Auburn will have a bigger crowd for sure, but I think that Oregon will travel pretty well. But it all comes down to quarterback play, and I just think they're going to have the better quarterback that day.
Yeah, no question about it.
I think Auburn's going to have a better defense, but I think Oregon will score enough to beat them.
Okay, if that's what you think.
What do you think? You think?
Well, Auburn could have the best defensive front, Mike, they've ever had at Auburn. Have you heard that?
I mean, Auburn's going to be good on defense. I don't think they're going to be better than they were last year.
Yeah, and they got a cold-blooded defensive coach now too, don't they?
Yeah, Kevin Steele.
Yeah, he's the one that told Saban that he had to get out of the meeting because he might do something he'd feel sorry for.
All right, so I got Auburn starting 0-1. You got them going 1-0.
All right, I've got Auburn. It's hard for me to root against Auburn, Mike. I'm taking Auburn to win.
All right, I've got them beating Tulane. I've got them beating Kent State.
All right,
you got them 3-0 going into A&M. I got them 2-1.
Okay, going into A&M. That's where I think they'll lose. I think Auburn will lose at A&M.
Okay, I got them losing to A&M as well, so I've got them going 2-2. You got them going 3-1.
Yeah, exactly. I got them.
Mississippi State at home. I'll say they'll beat Mississippi State.
Yes, they'll beat Mississippi State. Did you have Texas A&M beating them too?
No, I got the A&M beating Auburn. Yeah.
All right, okay.
You got them going 4-1. I got them going 3-2.
Okay.
At Florida, I'll say Auburn will lose that as well. I've got them going 3-3. You got them going what?
I think they'll lose at Florida. I agree.
So you got them 4-2. I got them 3-3.
Yes.
Then they have an off week. They beat Arkansas at Arkansas. I got them going 4-3. You got them going 5.
Yeah, but watch Arkansas. It's going to be a little bit better than they've been being, I think. Go ahead.
All right, so you got them at 5-2. I got them at 4-3. At LSU, I got them losing to LSU.
Gosh, their record is tough, isn't it? I got them losing too.
And you're 5-3. Then Ole Miss in Auburn, I got them beating Ole Miss, so they're 5-3. You got them going what? 6 and.
I got
them going 5-4. You got them going 6-3.
6-3, exactly. Yeah. All right, boy, their record, their schedule is unreal. Go ahead.
Then Georgia, I got them going 5-5.
You got Georgia beating them?
Yeah, in Auburn.
I reckon I'm gonna have to say the same thing. That's gonna be tough, but Georgia's supposed to be good. Let's see. Right now, I'd take Georgia. Yeah, go ahead.
So I got Auburn 5-5. You got Auburn 6-4.
Man, oh man, what are we doing, Mike? What are we doing? These Auburn people think we're crazy.
And then Sanford, I think they beat Sanford. They're 6-5. I know you got them beating Sanford, so they're 7-4 on yours. I got them 6-5. They lose to Alabama at home. I got them going 6-6. You got them going 7-5.
7-5. Gosh, that is hard to believe.
I mean, you got to look at that schedule, though. I mean, at that, I think Auburn, if you're a fan, you can only expect 9-3.
All right, let me tell you the way I like to do it sometimes.
Oregon's a big factor on the whole season.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. This is where I look at it sometimes. All right, can this team beat Auburn? Oregon, yes. Tulane, no. Kent State, no. Texas A&M, yes. Mississippi State, I don't think they can beat Auburn. I'm going to just go out and say...
Everybody says this transfer from Penn State's the real deal, Mississippi State, but I don't see it, man. Mississippi State was a huge disappointment last year to me.
and they're playing at Auburn. So I wouldn't say they can beat them. So that is 3 of them they can't beat. All right, Florida can beat them.
I think Mississippi State has the talent to beat Auburn, but I don't think they will.
Arkansas could beat them, but I'm probably going to be wrong here. But then LSU definitely can beat them. Ole Miss can't beat them. I'd go ahead and say that. Georgia can beat them, of course. Samford can't beat them, and Alabama can beat them. I've got 4 teams: Tulane, Kent State, Mississippi State. I'll go ahead and say Arkansas and Ole Miss. That's 4.
Well, you know that they can beat Samford.
Yeah, they can beat Samford. That's 5. I've got 5 people that can't beat Auburn, so I've got them going 7-5 all the way.
I mean, I don't see how he keeps his job, though. I really don't. He somehow down the stretch will have to beat either Alabama or Georgia, and I don't see it happening.
You know, he is one of the most positive guys you'll ever see as a coach. You know, he is a positive guy, no question about it.
You know, I think Fromm will be a junior. You know, he's going to be probably the best he's ever been this season.
Right.
And Georgia's recruiting.
All right, let's look at Georgia. Georgia's
recruiting has been incredible. You know, and I mean they've got so much talent on that roster. I just don't think Auburn will match up with them.
Well, let's look.
Maybe defensively they can, but I don't think offensively.
Let's look at Auburn.
Bill Steele, the expert, ranks Auburn's 2019 football schedule as the second toughest schedule in the country.
Is the toughest schedule? Who said that now? Bill Steele?
Bill Steele ranks Auburn's 2019 football schedule as the second toughest in the country.
Who's the toughest? Some poor team.
It's not saying. It's just talking about Auburn right now.
Second in the country. Second worst schedule in the country. And that I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
I mean, there's no doubt that's one of the toughest I've ever heard.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to get over here to Georgia, and let's take a look at the Georgia Bulldogs. I'll tell you one thing. They might not have the best quarterback in the country, but he sure is pretty. Wouldn't you say, Fromm is pretty? Where did Jake Fromm?
Yeah.
Jake Fromm, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Fromm was fixing to sign he was fixing to sign with Alabama. And what if he had signed with Alabama? What would have happened?
I mean, he was so close with Kirby Smart. So Kirby Smart left. He went to Georgia.
He went with Kirby Smart, but he was
toughest schedule in the country according to Phil Steele, South Carolina. The Gamecocks double up on non-SEC power foes and neutral dates with North Carolina and a visit from Clemson. So that's who they're playing, not just SEC. From the West, they draw Alabama to go along with their standing date with Texas A&M. They also get Georgia on the road. There is a chance they will play number 1 and number 2 and perhaps number 3 ranked teams in 2019. That's
boy. Isn't that unreal? Let's look at Georgia.
Can you imagine how to play Clemson, Alabama, and Georgia?
You're right. Clemson, Alabama, and Georgia. Boy, you're right.
But I mean, that's the way it is in that state. They're rivals, Clemson.
Yeah. All right, let's look at Georgia.
And when Spurrier was there, he dominated Clemson.
Yeah. All right, let's look at Austin Peay. They'll beat Austin Peay. Georgia will. Of course, you'll have that. South Carolina at South Carolina. Boy, if he could pull up, said it'd be a good time to do it, but I don't think so. I think Georgia wins, don't you think?
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee.
I think the only team that can beat Georgia is Florida.
Well, Missouri they play at Missouri. I don't know how good Missouri is going to be. A lot of people think they're going to be better. They like Missouri's new quarterback. And, the tough thing about them is that they play Missouri. We're talking about Georgia. When they play Missouri, they play them right before Missouri has to play. Wait a minute. Yeah, right before Missouri has to play Troy. So they're in trouble there, aren't they?
Well, Troy, West Virginia will play Missouri this year, too.
No, excuse me. Troy plays Missouri on the 5th. They play on the 5th of October. That doesn't sound right, but I reckon it is. No, excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong schedule.
You'll have West Virginia playing Missouri and Troy playing Missouri.
All right, I'm looking at the wrong schedule. Sorry about that. All right, Georgia plays Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt. No way you don't think Vanderbilt can beat them, do you?
I do not.
Murray State, they'll beat Murray State. Arkansas State, they'll beat Arkansas State. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame will probably give them a game.
They play in Georgia. Those Notre Dame guys will sweat out. They won't be able to stand it.
Yeah, that's bad scheduling on Notre Dame's part. They should have tried to play that game later in the season.
I'm going to take Georgia to win that game. Then they go to Tennessee. Can Tennessee knock them off?
Oh, I forgot to tell you that Jeremy Pruitt sightings were down in Great. Apparently, he was down here.
Jeremy Pruitt and his pretty a girl from her pretty wife from Banks, Alabama. Is that right?
Yeah. The only reason I know that, we have a house next to us that's a rental house, and the guy was a big Tennessee fan out of Huntsville, and he went to the Great Market to go pick up some stuff, and the girl in there who I've met several times is a big Tennessee fan. She always wears Tennessee stuff, and she showed him a picture of Pruitt going in there and buying something, and he was nice enough to take a picture with her at the
yeah, he's not the prettiest thing in the world. I must have had a hat on. Do you reckon?
He did have a hat on. That's all.
All right, okay. Let me catch this phone.
He's not the prettiest thing.
No question. They put you on hold. I'll be right back with you. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. Will Matthews.
Will Matthews. I saw you all over Facebook this weekend, man. Who was you parading around for, man?
Hell, I wasn't on Facebook.
I saw you, man. We saw you everywhere.
Well, I had a good time this weekend.
All right, let's bring in our good buddy Mike Amos. I'm going to put you on hold, too, now. And let's see where we'll do this right here. All right, we got both of you on?
I'm on.
Will, you on? Will Matthews. Oh, it jumped around, and I thought I had him. I'm sorry. We'll get him back in a minute. Will Matthews calling in from Ozark.
I'm sure Will's calling in about that Matthew Wolf kid from Oklahoma State that won on the PGA Tour yesterday. It's a 20-year-old won in his fourth tournament. This guy was one of the greatest college players, in the last 20 years, and now has already won on the PGA Tour. The guy eagles 18 to beat DeChambeau, who had eagled earlier.
Well, Mike, it was one in a three-man scramble.
Unbelievable to watch that golf tournament.
One in a three-man scramble. Wasn't that the way it was?
No, it was just a regular PGA Tour.
Oh, right. Who won it?
Matthew Wolf out of Oklahoma State. Only his fourth tournament ever on the PGA Tour.
Boy, oh boy.
They're saying he's the next great one.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get back.
He's only 20 years old, and he beat a kid that was 22 that played at Cal, that was also just graduated college. I mean, both these guys played in the NCAA tournament. Of course, Oklahoma State won the championship, and he won the individual championship at Oklahoma State.
He won $1.152 million too.
There's another kid that played at Oklahoma State named Victor Holland that just went pro as well. So they had both those guys on their national championship team. So, I mean, it's pretty incredible what these young guys are doing. But, now this guy plays and
just brings more of them in there, doesn't it?
Plays in the FedEx Cup, and now he goes over to play in the British Open as well.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these guys are unfamiliar. Of course, this other guy's named Morikawa or something, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a kid that played at Cal.
At Cal. And then Hadwin, where'd he play? He was an amateur.
He's from Canada. His name's Hadwin. No, he's been on the tour for several years.
How about Will Clark? Who is that? W. Clark.
Wyndham Clark played at Oregon.
Oh, man.
He's a young player, too.
All of these guys, Ortiz.
Yeah, the crazy thing is Koepka, I think he went 6 under. Jason Day went 5 under.
Will
didn't even make the cut.
Yeah.
Mickelson might be done. He's missed 6 out of the last 8 cuts.
Oh, me. Will, is that you? We got you on? I don't know if that's Will coming back on or not. Let's finish up Georgia real quick, Mike, and we'll go back to this when he comes back. Of course, Missouri is going to be a tough game on the road for Georgia, but I'm going to say Georgia is going to beat them. What do you think?
I agree with that.
And Tennessee at home against Tennessee, I think they'll win that game. Vanderbilt at home, they'll win that game. So far they were 6-0. You know, they're gonna get a test.
They got trouble to Tennessee, so that's gonna be a little bit tougher.
They play at LSU. I think they'll lose the LSU game.
They play at Tennessee. No, I think they'll beat LSU.
Oh, I was looking at this thing again wrong.
You're looking at the wrong schedule.
All right, I am so sorry.
Hey, right. let me get you Georgia's schedule. Georgia opens with Vanderbilt.
All right, they'll win.
They play Murray State. That's a win. They play Arkansas State. That's a win. Notre Dame at home. I think they'll beat Notre Dame at home. Then they have an off week to go to Tennessee. At Tennessee will be tough, but I think they'll beat them.
All right, Georgia's going to beat them. They're going to open up 5-0 then.
Then you got South Carolina in Athens. I think they win that.
Yes.
We'll be going to Athens. I think they'll win that. The cocktail party is the biggest game of the year. Florida, I think, will be really good.
Huge, the cocktail party.
I think there's a chance that Florida could beat them, but I don't think they will.
I'm going to take Florida, Georgia too.
And then Missouri in Athens, Auburn in Auburn.
Boy.
That's going to be a tough game. Then Texas A&M in Athens. And then, of course, they finish the year against Georgia.
All right. I say they can lose. I'm going to say they're going to lose to Auburn. And I'm going to say
we just had them beating Auburn.
Well, I didn't have them beating Auburn.
Yeah, you did. You said it.
Oh, yeah. Are they playing at Auburn, though, are they?
Yeah, but that's never mattered in that series. Usually the home team doesn't win.
He put words in my mouth. All right, now Texas A&M's going to beat them. Is that right?
No,
not playing at home. Well, you got them going undefeated, Mike.
I got them going. I got them going 11-1. I think Florida beats them.
Yeah, you think Florida will beat them? Well, all right. If they can beat Florida, they're gonna go undefeated. At least that's what you say, because all these great games.
They get all the tough games at home except all.
And they don't have to play Alabama, and they don't have to play LSU.
No, I mean, they're going to have to play Alabama in the SEC championship.
Yeah, okay, the SEC championship. But why do you like Georgia so much, Mike?
I mean, they got Jake Fromm. They got the great running back that's, rushed for over 1,000 yards. They got, all these guys on defense that they've recruited and offense. I mean, they should have beat Alabama last year.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a great talented team. Of course, they didn't show up when they played Texas because they had nothing to play for. But, I mean, Georgia's extremely talented.
They were 11-3 last year, and the big games, a lot of their big games, except for Florida, of course, a neutral field. Now they're on the road at Auburn and on the road at Tennessee. That's your two road trips that are tough.
I mean, I do think Tennessee will go 7-5 this year, but I don't think they'll beat Georgia.
Yeah. Tell me some folks that Georgia has that's going to be able to help them so much. They'll go with Fromm and quarterback.
Great skill players, linebackers, defensive line. I mean, Fromm is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Well, tell me, their running backs, Swift and Harrison.
Yeah, Swift's still there. Holyfield, went into the draft early and didn't even get drafted.
Oh, he didn't? Holyfield did not even get drafted?
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
You know any other people like that?
They said he ran the 40 in a 4.8.
Oh, gosh.
A running back. That's hard to believe.
He'll go as a free agent with somebody? Is that what he'll do?
Yeah, he'll be a free agent.
Man, oh, man.
They talked about Troy, basketball player Jarvis Bernardo is playing in the NBA Summer League.
I looked for him last night, and I didn't see him.
And you know what? He didn't even play.
I didn't think he did.
They didn't even put him in the game.
Oh, boy.
So, obviously, they don't think too highly of him if he didn't even get into the game.
At least he's out there, but, he's got to be able to shoot lights out.
A guy like that's better off going overseas. I mean, he can make a lot of money doing that.
And that guy also got to shoot lights out. He's got to be able to shoot it,
Well, he's going to get a shot blocked by a lot of people because he's only 6'6".
Yeah. Again, we're looking at that Georgia Bulldogs. Is Holloman and Simmons and Robertson good wide receivers for Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, their skill, players are great. I mean, the biggest thing for Georgia is basically just getting over Alabama.
Yeah. Well,
Kirby Smart, I think, will win a national championship. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I think it'll be sometime in the next 3 to 4 years.
So you think Georgia's defense is going to be top-notch?
I mean, I think so. I mean, they lost some good players to the draft, but, I mean, they got a lot of guys coming back.
There are three top...
Also in that Texas game, they had like 6 or 7 guys that were out. Didn't even play in that game.
Well, let me ask you this. Their top 3 signees are Nolan Smith, a linebacker, Nakobe Dean, a linebacker.
They got the state player out of Alabama. They got the offense lineman off.
And Trevon Walker, defensive tackle. They're all 5 stars, Mike. Did you know much about them? And they're all defensive players. So if they're a 5-star,
I knew about them because they either went to Georgia, they're going to go to Alabama.
Yeah.
Basically, that's who they chose between.
All right, now let me tell you this: if they're a 5-star, they're expected to start. They're expected to start. Let's go to that.
You got Will coming in.
All right, let me put you on hold. Good morning, Will. Sorry we lost you, man.
That's all right.
I'm gonna try you one more time. If not, I'm gonna just call me right back, if you will.
Okay.
We're gonna try you one more time, just one more time. All right, here we go. If this is working the way we want it to. We got conference, pick, conference, pick, conference. All right, I got both of you now. Is that right?
You got me.
I'm here.
Okay, Will Matthews. We're talking football. We're talking about Georgia. Michael's got Georgia going all the way to the championship game against Alabama, undefeated. What do you think?
Well, no, I said they could lose to Florida. I said at worst they'll go 11-1.
He said worst they could go 11-1. What do you think, Will?
Well, I think to get to the national championship game, they're going to have to beat Alabama at some point at the SEC championship or the semifinals, one or the other. It's going,
Well, they look good in Auburn.
We went over Auburn's schedule, Will. I mean, what do you think Auburn's going to do? I mean, I don't see them going better than 6-6.
I think 7, maybe, probably 6. Gus will be gone by, I think going into Georgia and Alabama, they could be at that point. They could be 6-4, and Gus would be fired at that point. I mean, I think they could, because I think what they're scared of, if he's 6-4 and he beats Georgia and Alabama, which is very unlikely, they'd have to keep him. They don't want to keep him.
Well, I was watching the golf tournament yesterday and watched the Wolf kid. He's only played in 4 events out of Oklahoma State. Wins on the PGA Tour at wins on the PGA Tour. Wins on the PGA Tour at 20 years old. Is he the next great thing in golf, you think?
Yeah. Hey, Michael, this was his 3rd event. He missed the cut in the first 2.
And also his teammate was the Victor Holland kid, who's also been playing lights out since he graduated college.
Yeah, and the guy's got a crappy swing, and everybody says he'll never win with that crappy swing. And guess what? He's already won, and 2-year exemption. He's in everything. He'll be at the British Open in 2 weeks. That crappy swing repeats. Just like Jim Furyk has a crappy swing, and look how much money he's made.
I know it. All he did was shoot 69, 67, 62, and 65. That means he shoots a 65 in the final round. Boy, that's not no rookie to me. That's something.
Well, and Mike, he shoots 31 on the last 9.
Oh, me.
With the pressure, and eagles the last hole.
Yeah.
Eagles from off the green.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was putting, but I mean, it was a long putt.
And DeChambeau had just eagled and put all the pressure on him.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody thought it was going to go to playoff.
Yeah, DeChambeau thought he would be at least in a playoff, or he knew he'd be in a playoff.
This other guy, the Morikawa, is he a rookie too?
Yeah,
he graduated college.
He graduated college. This guy left college after like 1 year or 2 years.
Yeah. Mike, who won the national championship? Did Oklahoma State win the national championship?
Yeah, they won it.
Yeah. Of course, these guys are rich men now. Now we're gonna wait. Now we got to see this, Will. This is the first. This is the first tournament that he's been able to make any money. So now he's made $1.152 million in his first job. That's exactly what it is, first job. He takes on $1.15 million. and now we're gonna see how he does with all that money. You know what I mean? For the first time, he's a rich man.
He's gonna have
sponsorships. Yeah.
Oh
sponsorships.
Yeah. He'll get $10 million in endorsements, and there'll be people taking chances with him. You know, hoping he turns into Jordan Spieth or something like that. You know.
Let me ask you something, Will, and I did not realize this until recently. You might have told me. Do people bet on golf?
Absolutely.
I mean, in Las Vegas, do they bet on golf?
They bet in Biloxi and Gulfport on golf.
I mean, they say that this is, or they bet that this Wolf guy's going to win the tournament. How would you do that? How would you bet on that?
You can do that before the tournament, but a lot of times some of these where they bet on golf, they wait till the last day when they're playing twosomes, and you can bet on either player in the twosome, and then they've got odds on that.
And do you bet on total score? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, whatever they shoot that day.
You don't give anybody any strokes or anything, do you?
No, you bet odds. Like you might bet $150 to win 100.
Oh, sort of like baseball. It's sort of like baseball then.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I mean, you can bet on the British Open right now out in Vegas. Who do you think's gonna win it?
And if you let's say somebody like who would you think would win?
We talked about this when Tiger won the Masters. A guy won $2 million betting on him.
Did he really? Yeah. Now that's probably what happened to Mickelson. He probably started betting on himself, don't you think?
Now I'll give you a perfect example about betting on golf. Okay.
All right.
Ladbrokes in England will take a bet on any golf tournament, whatever. I've got a cousin. We played at the TPC course there in Memphis where they play the pro tournament. Okay? And he played from the back tees and had 9 birdies. He turns 50 next week. He's making his senior tour debut at the Senior British Open in 2 or 3 weeks. It's the week after the British Open. And I told him, I said, look, I'm going to give you $100.
Who's the guy?
Doug Barron's his name. He played at LSU. He played on the tour for about 5 or 6 years, and he was in a horrific car wreck. And he didn't play golf for 20 years. And he went to James Andrews, and James Andrews did 2 or 3 surgeries on him, and he said, look, I can fix your shoulder and your arm, but you'll never play golf again. Well, guess what? He's back playing golf, and he's been playing the last 2 or 3 years. In fact, he was in Andalusia, Alabama, about 2 or 3 weeks ago and shot like 25 under par in a mini tour thing and won it by 10 strokes.
And that's something.
So anyway, he's going to England, and I told him, I said, look, I'm going to give you $100. You go in there, your odds will probably be 5,000 to 1 to win. Nobody's ever heard of you. So he said, I think I'll do that. You never know.
Half these golfers, I mean, more than half these golfers I've never even heard of. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
They're just coming out here. Now, speaking of Andalusia, before we get off the subject.
Tom Lehman played in that tournament. He was 60, and he shot 9 under.
Hey, I noticed he really did. Boy, he doesn't look 60. He's in perfect shape. Boy, he's a horse, I tell you. He's in great shape.
If he could still putt, there's no telling he could be competitive. I mean, he could be like...
Yeah, he hits it a long ways, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's a great ball striker.
And what did you say he shot yesterday, Mike?
Well, no, I mean, I think he finished the tournament 9 or 8 under. For a 60-year-old, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Glover shot 62 yesterday.
He's from Minnesota.
Glover shot 62 yesterday.
And Michael, he redesigned that course too.
Who did?
Oh, he did?
Tom Lehman.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
So he knows that course real well, no question about it.
Well, he helped design it again, when they redid it.
Yeah. Will, I know you're real nervous right now because you're getting ready for a big domino tournament coming up in Andalusia. Do you feel like you'll win it?
there's so much luck involved. I'd like to get to the finals. I'd love to get to the finals and have a chance to win it.
What makes the difference in a good domino player and an average player? Do you figure it all up in your head real quick, or do you ever make a mistake?
Well, singles is pure luck.
Yeah.
Because you can't really know what the other guy's got. Now, playing partners, a lot of times your partner can play to where you figure out what they've got and you can play around it. So
yeah, like if you got a bunch of fives that, like, let's just say your partner had 4 5s or something like that, or
he runs a 5 out there and the other guy goes to the other side. You pretty much figure he's got a bunch of them and you can go on with him.
Now you gonna play double?
When you play singles, are you trying to block the game? Is it good to block the game or
no? No. You're trying to keep yourself a play where you don't go in there and draw a bunch of dominoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean when you try to?
I didn't know if it's good to block your opponent though, so he has to draw a bunch of dominoes, or can he score more that way if you do that?
Yeah. Well, sometimes if you send them and they draw all the dominoes, they'll beat the mess out of you before you domino.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You lose a lot of points and so forth. How many games do you play, Will? 3?
You play 2 out of 3 to 250 points.
Okay, and so anybody that signs up Saturday morning Friday morning, is it Friday or Saturday?
Both days. Now, Friday is the singles.
Yeah, and anybody that wants to play can go and sign up and sit down and play. Is that right?
You can, but you've got to get there before 8 o'clock.
Yeah. And what is the initiation fee?
It's $100 each day.
$100, cash money?
Cash money.
Now you gonna go early and play against some of the great players in the world, aren't you?
And I'll be there Thursday. We'll play Thursday.
Will they play?
All the Kansas City boys are coming. There's gonna be 4 or 5 of them.
Will there be any parties? People throwing parties?
No parties. They play dominoes.
What about Andy? Does Andy Murphy from Troy play in that?
He does, and he and I got to the finals one year and should have won.
Yeah.
But that was. But we played together. It's just a blind draw who you get, and I drew Andy, which was great because he's a great domino player.
Well,
he'll be down there, I'm sure, on Saturday.
I hope he does, and
he will.
Fine young man, very good friend of mine. Of course, the domino tournament is brought to you by the Kiwanis Club down there. Is that right? It's not the Rotary Club, or is it brought to you by the Rotary Club or the Kiwanis Club?
I always thought it was Rotary Club.
All right, okay, the Rotary Club, but they play at a Kiwanis Club facility. Is that right?
Yeah, it's in the farm center. It's a big, huge.
I know it.
Thing. It's out there by the ball fields and all. It's very nice.
Yeah, no question about it. Andalusia's a nice town, no question about it. The mayor is a very good friend of mine. Of course, who?
Earl Johnson.
Yeah, Earl Johnson. And of course, you've met Earl Johnson in court a few times, probably, haven't you, Will?
We've tried cases together.
Yeah.
We were on the same team in a case in Montgomery in federal court one time. He's a great guy.
Oh, yeah. Done so much for Andalusia. He's a big power. He thinks so positive. And, he started off putting together this Christmas deal, and he told me over 100,000 people came to Andalusia during the Christmas holidays. They just had, I don't know how they kept up with all of it, but that's a lot of people to come to your town, isn't it? Because of your Christmas decorations, and then while they were here, they shopped and did things. He's a promoter. He also flies his own plane, and they have a big airport there in Andalusia now too.
He's a great guy.
Well, he got a big baseball tournament in Troy starting this week, starting on Friday, Will, and I want you to hear this. I didn't see any teams out of Ozark playing the Ozone, but they've got a tournament that is just good. It's unreal how many people will be coming to Troy, Alabama, when you've got 14 teams from across the state.
And those people bring daddies, moms.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
And they bring their pocketbooks and they spend money in
that's right.
restaurants. That's a big economic plus, really.
All right, there are 14 games on Friday alone. That's this coming Friday, and they got teams from Morgan County. Got Eufaula, Montgomery, Dothan, Auburn, Selma, Hopeful, Taylor, Rehoboth, Bibb County, Mobile Municipal, Enterprise American, Decatur American, Hueytown, Alexandria, and Auburn Blue. I mean, that's a lot of towns represented right there. And I just figured if you...
Most of them will be staying in... Now, maybe Enterprise, they'll probably drive back and forth, and Dothan may drive back and forth. But the rest of them will be staying there.
Yeah, they will. If Troy can handle it, I don't know if they can handle all of them, but I think Troy University probably will open up their dorms, because of, it's just a mini semester going on, and so they have some dorms they could put them in probably. Be a lot of fun for those kids.
Yeah. So did you or Will watch the World Cup? The women's team won the World Cup yesterday.
And I apologize for not mentioning that. America.
Well, I didn't watch any of that crap.
I went to a restaurant, the Blue Mabel restaurant at Blue Mountain.
Excuse us, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that.
And there was literally packed standing room only to watch the World Cup down here at the beach. That's how many people were into it. It was crazy.
Exactly. Those girls are good.
Screaming and hollering every single thing that went on.
All about somebody kicking a ball around a field without touching it with your hands.
Well, they're going to give them a ticker tape parade in New York City, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Well, of course.
We're looking at Alabama's schedule. I mean, I don't see anybody beating Alabama, really. I mean, I think the toughest game will probably be LSU, maybe at Auburn. I mean, I think
you want to know who's got the easiest.
I think A&M. I think A&M's going to take a step back this year. I don't think
you know who's got the easiest schedule in the United States for a good team?
Alabama.
Nope.
Georgia.
Nope. Think about it.
The toughest schedule in the country is South Carolina. Second is Auburn. I don't know who's got the easiest.
The easiest would never be in the SEC.
LSU. Oh, okay.
No, anybody in the SEC would have to play all the good teams.
Well, the Ohio State would have to play Michigan.
Yeah, think about it.
Is it Michigan or Ohio State?
No, Clemson.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I heard a guy on the radio say that Clemson will be 17-point favorites against every single opponent they'll face this year, including Texas A&M at home.
Yeah.
Now, that's incredible.
Yeah, that is. That's not even fair, is it?
Them down for 13-0, and they're going to the playoffs.
Because that conference is not near as strong as they thought it was going to be, isn't it?
Oh, it's awful. It's pitiful.
Well, I mean, you got Florida State down, you got Miami down, you got so many programs down, Virginia Tech's down.
Oh, yeah, it's pitiful.
Louisville's down. It's not near as tough as it used to be.
I was looking at it,
Dabo Swinney, as young as he is, he might break the all-time wins record for us all over.
Yeah, he couldn't he?
Dabo's still in his 40s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's extremely young.
Yeah, oh yeah, and he's who everybody wants to play for too. It looks like.
Somebody told me
they got the number one recruiting class in the country.
Yeah, somebody said, well, Dabo's coming to Alabama when Saban retires.
Yeah, shoot.
He ain't coming to Alabama.
They'll pay him $20 million a year.
He's already making $11 million.
What now?
He's making $11 million.
He's making $11 million now.
Yeah, he will never leave Clemson. I mean, that's what people don't understand.
Yeah, you're right.
And you have to follow Saban.
Y'all know the biggest joke of them all is Watson Brown's going to North Carolina. That's the biggest joke of them all.
Well, not Watson Brown, Mack Brown.
Mack Brown, I mean. I wonder if Watson will come back as his assistant coach.
I went to school with Watson at Vanderbilt. And Mack Brown was at Vanderbilt for 1 year, and then he got kicked out for cheating or something.
Let me ask you, got kicked out for what?
Cheating.
Oh.
And then they sent him to Florida State.
Okay.
He was at Florida State. And when he was at Florida State, they didn't win a game.
Mack Brown went to Florida State?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Mike, they didn't win a game. They were 0-11.
And then Texas hires him?
Well, no, he playing there. He played there.
Oh, yeah, he played there. Yeah, exactly.
You know, Clemson always struggles against is Syracuse, so they got to go to Syracuse this year. That might be interesting.
They struggle against Syracuse. Isn't that something?
Well, according to that guy who knows this gambler, Phil Steele, he said they'll be a 17-point favorite.
Talking about, yeah. You did.
Their schedule is Georgia Tech to start the season. Then they got Texas A&M coming to Clemson. They got to go to the Carrier Dome and play Syracuse. Charlotte coming to Clemson. North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Florida State at Clemson. Louisville at Louisville. Boston College at Clemson. Watford at Clemson.
Oh, man.
NC State and Raleigh. And then they've got Wake Forest and Clemson. And then they finish out the season at Williams-Brice Stadium at South Carolina.
You know, the hardest game they've got on the road is North Carolina State. That's the only hard. That's the hardest team they've got is North Carolina State on the road because Florida State's, A&M's at home. Syracuse is on the road. If you want to say that's going to be tough, I don't see how it can be.
Well, I mean, Syracuse beat them 2 years ago, and they should have beat them last year. I mean, they converted that fourth down miracle play to beat Syracuse last year.
Unless Texas A&M is better than we think they are, they're the only ones got a chance to beat them. You're right. They just coast. They coast in. No question about it.
I mean, if you're that quarterback's parents, though, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, I would almost tell him to sit it out after this year.
Really?
Ready for the NFL. I mean, you're just risking injury and big as a dog.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly, that's right. And
Michael, I'm sure they've got insurance policies or something.
well, they at least make him cut his hair. Man, he looks like a kid out there. Of course, Florida State is supposed to be better, but I don't think they will. What do you think?
Florida State may not go to bowl again.
Look at Florida State.
A lot of people think Tiger was a poor hire down here. I mean, I hear it all the time in Grade.
Yeah. Let's look at them real quick.
Ready for him to go already.
Let's look at Florida State. They open up with Boise, and I can't see them beating Boise. Can y'all?
No.
But they play at Florida State.
I think.
All right, yeah, let's see. In Jacksonville, you're exactly right, Will. They play on the mutual field, but those boys from Boise will be burning slam up. Give me Florida State to win that game.
They're burning slam up playing Troy a couple years ago, beat them 50.
Hey, I think Florida State will find a way to beat Boise. Louisiana Monroe, they'll win that one. They'll at Virginia, they'll lose at Virginia probably, don't you think?
Yep, that's 1-2. All right,
Louisville, they ought to beat Louisville. They play at home.
They'll beat them. That's 1-1.
North Carolina State, they play at home.
2-2.
You think they'll lose to North Carolina State?
They'll lose that. They'll be 2-3.
All right, I'm gonna say they're gonna beat North Carolina State. All right, Clemson, they'll lose to that game.
2-4.
Wake Forest, they'll win that one, but Wake Forest is getting better though.
Where is it being played?
Played at Wake Forest.
That's 2-5.
You think they'll lose that one too? Okay, Syracuse at home. You know, I've got them being better than I think they are.
That's 2-6.
I'm gonna say they're gonna beat Syracuse. Then they play Miami at home.
2-7.
I say Miami's gonna beat them. Boston College on the road. Boston College is gonna be better.
Yeah, Boston College will beat them. That's 2-8.
Oh man. Then Alabama State.
I don't know if I got them.
3-8.
Then they got Alabama State.
I think they'll go 6-6.
And then they at Florida.
3-8.
All right, let's see here.
Did you say they're playing Alabama State?
Yeah. Playing Alabama
How
State.
does Alabama State keep on getting on?
I don't know.
All right, I say they win 3 games at 3-9. And Taggart will be gone by about halfway through.
Well, you don't think they'll fire him on the spot, do you?
They will fire him mid-season if he's like,
You know,
like 2-6.
You know what the sad thing is about that though? If he would have been fired, if Neil Brown would have still been at Troy, Neil Brown would have been probably the top candidate for that job.
probably would have. Yeah, you're right.
Neil Brown may still be the top candidate. If he has a big year at West Virginia, don't you think, or where he's at West Virginia, and he would
Oh God, they put the money up. Florida State's got money. They put the money up, and he'd be coming.
But let me tell you the word. You ever heard the word mystique? Mystique used in college football. Where old Alabama would come out there with red jerseys, with red helmets and white trims, and they'd be prancing out there. And before the game, most teams thought, "Oh God, we're fixing to get killed. We're fixing to get killed." That's sort of what I call mystique. And Florida State has lost that mystique.
Oh, Florida State's horrible.
They're not feared by anybody anymore.
They're horrible. They are.
And even with Jimbo, I didn't think they were that good, but he found a way.
They won a national championship with Jimbo.
Yeah, I know. That's right. He found a way. Well, they had a great quarterback.
Well, Jimbo is a good coach. I don't care what anybody says.
All right, now their quarterback is James Blackman. Is he the old quarterback? And then they got a guy named Alex Hornibrook. That name sounds familiar. Alex Hornibrook.
If James Blackman's the quarterback, he won't last 2 games.
Cam Akers is their running back. Everybody says is so good. So we'll take a look at it, but taking a picture of Clemson and Florida State, they don't even you can't even compare them anymore, can you?
I think they'll go 0-8 in the ACC this year. I don't think they'll win that.
Syracuse is putting all their promises around a tailback named Mo Neal. Have you ever heard of him? Can you name me any of the great Syracuse running backs?
Oh my God!
The great Syracuse running backs.
Jim Brown. The guy that followed him that won the Heisman Trophy and died.
Davis. Ernie Davis. Of course,
there's been a number of them.
Brian. Of course, they also had the great one that played for the Miami Dolphins, the big fullback. Zonka played at, and then you had the other great tailback that played around the same time. Oh boy.
They've had some good players.
Yeah, they were considered tailback U at one time, and I don't know if this guy Mo Neal is going to be the difference or not, but we'll be talking about that later. We plan to talk about each team, 2 or 3 teams per show leading up to a kickoff, and it's not very far away. Are you getting excited, Will?
Not really.
Look, I saw these pictures of you on Facebook. What were you doing?
I've been playing golf a lot.
You need to come up to my party on July 26th and 27th. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That is my niece is getting married, and there's a party in Dothan that night for her.
Well, I bet it better be a lot of fun. Yeah.
And the K-Jam's playing.
Okay, we've got the Fabulous Shades will be playing at our reunion.
I hear you.
Be a lot of fun.
Have a big time.
And let's hope you have a good week, good day. Call us back. We'll see you later. Appreciate Will Matthews calling in, and Mike Amos calling in, and you calling in. And of course, we appreciate you very much, and appreciate our sponsors out there. And we look forward to seeing you again today at 1:30 right here as we review our show from today. Of course, we appreciate your support, and hope you have a great day. See you tomorrow, bright and early. We've got a cake sale, big cake sale on here tomorrow as we try to help support one of these Troy-Dixie baseball teams that are heading to the state tournament. And we hope to raise them some money tomorrow. See you.
Do you want a good truck driving job? Do you want to drive for the best? Then drive for Wiley